Hi, Petro. Hello, Mr. President.
I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to hear you. And it is good to know that you have a time to talk to me. Thank you very much.
Always.
I think that the all resolution of this war will be found on the front line.
Maybe helped by the United States. You know, the United States' interests and yours are not identical, but they know that their credibility is at stake. So, you know, either this administration or the next can't sell you down the river, because that would affect their credibility vis-a-vis all America's allies.
We can count on the US only because you know that the next president could be worse than this one.
I talk to Trump's people and they tell us, you know, we don't know what Trump will really do, but what they're telling us is that Trump would threaten Putin with escalation in order to get a better deal. I'm just repeating what I was told, okay?
But yeah, I know. But any other deal, it looks like a threat to us. Any deal that Trump threatens to Russia, any deal looks like a threat to us.
Well, it all depends on how long you can sustain this war.
We are trying not to be Ukraine in the frame of Lviv region. I hope so.
Right. You mustn't lose Odessa, and you mustn't let them come close to the river.
When I talked to Kwasniewski and other people, they told that it is really important to take Ukraine into NATO. But if they take Ukraine into NATO, they will be members of the conflict, and they will absolutely join the conflict with Russia. So how do you feel? Is it possible to take us in the alliance in the short time?
The NATO attitude is somewhat hypocritical. What NATO is saying, you can become a member of NATO once you've won the war and you don't need it.
So
I think some of our West European friends are using the idea of Ukraine joining NATO as a bargaining chip with Russia, which is maybe not a bad thing. You know, withdraw from Ukraine, and then we promise you Ukraine will not be in NATO. And if you don't withdraw, and we freeze the conflict, then the rest of Ukraine will be in NATO. Maybe this is the kind of calculation they're making. Don't be misled by the word negotiation, because you're not, you know, meeting halfway between the EU. All you can negotiate over is the length of the transition periods. And if you're told otherwise, this will be by people who don't want you to join, who want to delay the process. And the absolutely hardest chapter to negotiate will be agriculture. Because your agriculture is too good, it's too competitive.
Yeah.
You have huge farms, you have really good soil, and you know, in Poland, the average land holding is 11 hectares.
Right.
So your membership will force a complete revision of the common agricultural policy, which is a really difficult political problem inside the EU and the member states.
I agree. So Europe doesn't need it so much as
and also remember that it will be a question of power. You are a large country. So the balance of power inside the EU will be changed by your membership. Ukraine and Poland together will have more votes in the Council and more members of parliament than Germany.
Yeah. How do you think about nuclear weapon in Poland? So what is position of you? What is position?
This talk is very unhelpful. We have told the president to stop talking about it. It's completely unhelpful. It won't happen, and it's and public talk about it is not useful.
But why he's talking about it a lot?
He is in his last year of office. He's feeling a little sidelined, and he's, I think, just trying to attract attention to himself. And it's harmful because, you know, there are these American nuclear weapons in Germany and in Holland where there is potential for so-called peace movements, and it just attracts attention to an issue which is difficult for others.
Well, but if you think there is not something bad if you will have a nuclear weapon in your country, you can be.
It does. Look, it does. Those are American warheads, and the program of nuclear sharing is just delivering warheads that are not under your control. So it's like being a postman who has $1 million check, who feels important because as if this $1 million was his. It's not his.
Well, you're right, but probably Russia will be afraid of you.
No, whether the warheads are in Germany or in Poland, what difference does it make?
Well, I think that Russia will never attack Germany. For me,
well,
as I think.
Whereas it might attack targets in Poland.
So
that
if you will have a nuclear weapon, they will never attack you.
No, all we would have, Petro, would be the storage for nuclear weapons. The nuclear weapons wouldn't be ours.
Oh.
They would be a little bit like the Ukrainian nuclear weapons in the early 90s. You had them physically, but you couldn't actually use them.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And you had a much greater number of them.
Yeah, we sent it to Russia back. But it was not useful as we wanted.
It was probably a mistake, yes, at the time.
What do you think about Nord Stream 2? So Nord Stream 2, they're trying to accuse us about this problem. But both of us know.
In Poland, the way we feel about it, whoever did it did a good job. And we now know that the Americans had advanced knowledge of it.
Yeah.
And didn't stop it.
But you know who was the people who tried to explode it? I know.
We have our suspicions. We read the newspapers.
Yeah, I know. One of them, I am 100% sure, was Ukrainian. But it is top secret.
Well, that's what the German papers say, so they must be true. Good to see you.
And I hope that you can resolve all your problems with your opponents, with your other people. Hope to see you in person now in Kiev. If you will be there, if you will be here, just let me know.
Inshallah. Bye-bye.
Inshallah. Okay. Perfect.
Bye.
Thanks.